Godzilla's cosmic clash is a thrilling new chapter in the legendary monster saga. When a distress call echoes from the stars, Godzilla leaves Earth to confront an intergalactic threat. This cinematic journey takes him beyond our planet to distant worlds where he battles ferocious alien creatures and uncovers ancient mysteries. But he's not alone in this fight. Along the way, he forges alliances with enigmatic alien races who aid him in his quest to save not just the universe, but his own planet as well. Can Godzilla rise to the challenge and become a true intergalactic hero? Let's find out. Chapter 1. The Call Beyond Earth. The night sky over Tokyo crackled with an eerie green aurora, an anomaly unseen before. Citizens looked up in awe and confusion as scientists scrambled to make sense of it. Before they could, however, the skies split open. A colossal vortex of emerald light formed, reaching towards the heavens. And from within, it boomed a voice that echoed with an otherworldly resonance. It was an ancient dialect, yet its meaning clear. A plea for help, a summons from beyond the stars. Deep within the Pacific Ocean, something stirred. Godzilla, the king of monsters, once the defender of Earth, felt the call resonate through his very being. It was a summons that transcended space and time, echoing with an urgency that stirred his primordial instincts. Something beyond the stars, something that threatened existence itself, was calling out for aid. And though he didn't know what perils lay in wait, or what horrors he might face, Godzilla knew he had to answer the call. With a thunderous roar that shook the ocean's depths, he surged forth, becoming a beacon of energy that shone with an otherworldly glow. Moments later, the vortex, which had been steadily growing in intensity, engulfed him whole, hurtling him into the vast unknown of space. Chapter 2. Arrival on Zeltronia Prime. When Godzilla regained consciousness, he found himself on a world unlike any he'd ever seen. His senses, attuned to Earth's familiar environment, struggled to comprehend what he now perceived. The landscape was a bizarre fusion of the familiar and the alien. Floating islands of jagged rock formations hung suspended in a sky filled with swirling mists and strange constellations. Rivers of glowing blue plasma coursed across the landscape, reflecting the light of two suns that cast an eerie purple glow over everything. And then there were the sounds, or rather the lack of them. There was a profound silence that pressed against him, broken only by the hum of energy that vibrated in the air. He hadn't been on this planet long when the first attack came. From the inky shadows between the floating land masses, a creature of nightmare emerged. It was a towering monstrosity, a fusion of organic tissue and cybernetic enhancements. Standing over 30 meters tall, its forearms ended in razor-sharp plasma blades that crackled with malevolent energy. Its head was a grotesque mask of metal and flesh, and its eyes burned with cold, hard malice. It was Zephyros, the biomechanical warlord, leader of the Zeltronian warlords, conquerors of planets and destroyers of civilizations. Zephyros regarded Godzilla with a cold reptilian gaze. "You are Earth's champion," he rasped, his voice reverberating across the alien landscape like the grinding of tectonic plates. "But your strength means nothing here. We rule the stars." Without warning, with a blinding flash of movement, he lunged. His forearms lashed out, each blow aimed at vital points, each one carrying the lethal promise of dismemberment. Chapter 3. The Battle of Titans. In the face of such relentless aggression, Godzilla was forced into action. He roared, unleashing his atomic breath, a searing blue-white beam of energy that tore through the air towards Zephyros. It struck the alien warlord, sending him crashing into a nearby crystalline mountain. But the assault did not end there. Emerging from the swirling mists were creatures straight out of nightmares. They were insectoid in shape, having serrated claws and gaping maws filled with dripping acid. Their eyes glowed with a predatory hunger, and they descended upon Godzilla with a deafening screech. These were the Void Reapers, Zephyros' elite shock troops. They swarmed around Godzilla, their claws raking down, their jaws snapping. Their venomous acid splashed against his hide, sizzling and smoking. Despite their ferocity, Godzilla stood firm, bellowing defiance. With a mighty swing of his tail, he obliterated the nearest reapers, showering the landscape with pulverized chitin and twisted metal. Yet for every reaper that fell, 2 more took its place. They were relentless, their numbers seemingly unending. Just as Godzilla was about to be overtaken, an unexpected ally arrived. Streaking through the violet sky was a crimson blur. In moments, it descended, revealing a warrior queen. Standing nearly as tall as Godzilla, she was an enigma, a mesmerizing fusion of elegance and power. She had skin that shimmered with an opalescent hue, adorned with intricate celestial patterns. Her eyes burned with the wisdom of ages, and her lithe yet powerful frame was clad in armor that seemed woven from starlight. In her hands, she held a glaive that pulsed with the same celestial energy as her body, and it radiated with a calm, steady power that promised both justice and retribution. Introducing Zephyra, the warrior queen of the lost Celestian race. She wasted no time in joining the fray, her glaive flashing like a comet, carving through the Void Reapers with deadly precision. "You are not alone, Earth Titan," she declared, her voice echoing with authority and kindness. Together, Godzilla and Zephyra turned the tide of the battle. Godzilla, invigorated by Zephyra's arrival, let out a thunderous roar that shook the floating islands, and he fought with renewed vigor. His atomic breath seared through the Reaper ranks, and his mighty tail lashed out, sweeping aside all who dared come too close. Meanwhile, Zephyra danced through the fray, her glaive a blur of motion, as she dispatched the Void Reapers with serene efficiency. Despite their combined might, however, they were still facing an overwhelming horde. The Void Reapers kept coming, driven by some dark, unseen force. Chapter 4: War for the Galaxy. Realizing brute force alone wouldn't end this onslaught, Godzilla and Zephyra decided to take the fight directly to Zephyros and his base of operations. Zelaron Prime was in turmoil, the tranquility of its floating islands shattered by the raging battle. But amidst the chaos, a glimmer of hope emerged. High above the maelstrom, Zephyra, guided by her keen intellect and cosmic intuition, led Godzilla to a hidden vantage point. Perched atop a jagged crystalline spire, they surveyed the landscape before them, seeking a strategic advantage. And then Zephyra saw it, a structure that pulsed with an ominous energy. It was Zephyros' command center, a fortress of twisted metal and pulsating flesh. Here, Zephyros orchestrated his dominion, controlling his armies and fueling his reign of terror. It was the nerve center of his war machine, and taking it out would be crucial to ending this conflict. Zephyros, however, had anticipated their move. As Godzilla and Zephyra prepared to strike, the ground beneath them rumbled. From the depths of the planet, tentacles of pure darkness erupted, ensnaring Zephyra and holding her fast. "You cannot escape me," Zephyros hissed, his voice dripping with triumph. "Your pathetic alliance means nothing. I am the undisputed ruler of these stars." As his final act of defiance, Godzilla unleashed his full power, sending a devastating atomic blast towards Zeltronia Prime's core. The shockwave was immense, threatening to consume the planet entirely. Understanding the gravity of the situation, Zephyra gathered the remaining Celestians and initiated the planet's failsafe protocol. Together, they channeled their collective energy into protecting the core, forming a shield that deflected Godzilla's blast away from the planet. Now free from the darkness, Zephyra and Godzilla turned their attention back to Zephyros. But the alien warlord had one final trick up his sleeve. With a flourish, he gestured towards the churning mists of the planet's sky, and from their depths emerged a creature of pure nightmare. It was a grotesquely beautiful abomination, a leviathan wreathed in black tendrils and crowned with a gaping maw that seemed to swallow light itself. The devourer was a monstrosity of pure cosmic dread. With unnatural swiftness, it moved through the air, wrapping its tendrils around Godzilla's legs, attempting to hold him fast. But Godzilla broke free, thundering to the ground and shaking the very foundations of the floating islands. The devourer attacked again, its gaping maw opening to engulf Godzilla in a vortex of pure darkness. But this time, Zephyrah intervened, shielding Godzilla with her own body. The devourer recoiled, surprised by the sudden interference. Seizing the opportunity, Godzilla unleashed his atomic breath directly into its gaping maw. The devourer shrieked as it was torn apart by the sheer magnitude of Godzilla's power. Zephyros, witnessing his ultimate weapon's destruction, collapsed to his knees, his reign of terror brought to an abrupt end. Chapter 5. The Return of a King. With Zeltronia Prime secured and the Zeltronian warlords scattered, Zephyrah and Godzilla stood side by side, surveying the damage wrought by the conflict. But their moment of triumph was tinged with a profound understanding of the toll such battles take. Despite the scale of the victory, entire landscapes had been scarred and countless lives lost. It was then that the vortex reappeared in the sky, calling Godzilla back to his own world. As Godzilla stepped into the emerald light, leaving behind a legend that would echo across galaxies, Zephyrah knew she may never see him again. Yet the warrior queen also understood the importance of his departure. The cosmos was safe, for now, and Earth, it seemed, needed its hero. Back on Earth, the vortex dissipated, leaving Godzilla standing once more above the ocean. As he rose from the waves, a triumphant roar echoed across the land, a sound that resonated with the joy of homecoming and the pride of a battle well fought. It was a victory not just for Earth, but for the very balance of the cosmos. Yet as Godzilla turned to survey his domain, a flicker of unease crossed his reptilian features. Though his mission to Zeltronia Prime was complete, a nagging sense of responsibility lingered. The battle with Shephoros had revealed a vast, unsettling truth. Earth, with its delicate balance of nature and humanity's precarious hold on its future, was now even more vulnerable than before. Meanwhile, deep in the ruins of Zeltronia Prime, amidst the wreckage of Zephyros' defeated war machine, a faint pulse persisted. It was a transmission, a desperate plea for aid that went unanswered. Buried under the rubble of a shattered fortress, a single data crystal survived, holding within it the coordinates of a forgotten realm. It was a last-ditch effort, a desperate gamble to secure aid in their time of greatest need. Little did the Zeltronians know that in transmitting these coordinates, they had inadvertently opened the door to an even greater cosmic threat. For in a forsaken sector of the universe, far removed from the triumphs and tragedies of Zeltronia Prime, a dark intelligence had received their call. Chapter 6. Echoes of the Stars. Light years away in a desolate corner of the cosmos, a single data crystal emitted a faint but steady pulse, a beacon of distress echoing through the void. Within its metallic shell, the coordinates of a shattered world and a dying civilization were encoded, waiting for a pair of discerning eyes to decipher them. In a realm of eternal darkness, shrouded by nebulae and veiled in cosmic dust, a colossal fleet of warships slumbered. Each vessel was a monument to forgotten power, bearing silent witness to the glory days of the celestial dominion. At the heart of this dormant fleet, within a citadel of obsidian and stardust, a solitary figure stirred. The being known only as the Harbinger was an enigma, cloaked in shadows and mystery. What little could be seen hinted at an otherworldly majesty. Piercing red eyes burned with an eerie intensity, and a single horn that spiraled from his brow gleamed with a malevolent light. Rising from his obsidian throne, the Harbinger turned his gaze to the data crystal, a faint smile playing on his lips. So the Earth Titan has meddled in the affairs of the stars, he mused, his voice echoing with an ancient power. Let's see how he fares against the true rulers of the cosmos. With a gesture, He commanded his fleet to stir, awakening them from their eons-long slumber. "Prepare the celestial dominion," he declared, his eyes burning with a fanatic's zeal. "It is time we reclaimed our birthright among the stars." And as the fleet surged to life, the slumbering titans of the celestial dominion awoke, ready to do their master's bidding. Their colossal forms blotting out the stars, they set their course for Earth, carrying with